Hi guys, happy Friday. I hope you had a great week. Today, we are going to be kind of talking about imagery, and we're going to be taking what we've learned about similes and metaphors, adding personification to that, and then we're going to be looking at how these three elements of figurative language can create imagery. So let's take a look at our essential question here. Okay, so how does figurative language create imagery? And like I said, in this specific lesson, we're just going to be looking at similes, metaphors, and personification. Okay, so what do these three sentences have in common? The ancient car groaned into third gear, the clouds scattered rain throughout the city, and the tropical storm slept for 2 days. Well, let's take a look at them individually. The ancient car groaned into third gear. Can a car groan? Not really. A person can, but not a car. The clouds scattered rain throughout the city. Clouds can't scatter things. People can. And the tropical storm slept for days or 2 days. Do storms sleep? No. Okay? So personification, of course, is what all of those things have in common. So yes, it's a figure of speech that gives the qualities of a person to an animal, an object, or an idea. So this example we had in class, the wind yelled all night long. Okay, the wind can't yell, only a living thing can yell. So that is personification. So I know you know what personification is, but it's hard sometimes to identify it, to know what it means, and then to to actually have or be able to imagine what it is trying to get you to picture in your mind as the reader. So here's some examples. The moon smiled down upon the sleeping city. My computer hates me. And if this was Mrs. Mell in class, you know what I would say. My smartboard hates me because it never wants to work for me. The camera loves me. So there is an attached OneDrive document. What you're going to do is you're going to open it, and for the first part of this activity, you're going to read each sentence, underline the object or objects that are being personified, and there's an example done for you. Okay, the first one is done for you, and describe what the sentence means. So go ahead and pause this right now, and you're going to complete that very first section of the note sheet. So hopefully by now you'll have finished the first section. In this second section, we're going to try out our writing skills a little bit. So we're going to actually try to personify objects. Now we're going to do a couple of little practices here. I'm going to do some for you before you do your own. So leaves on a windy day. Okay, so, and I think I gave this example in class. The leaves danced in the breeze. Okay, that's saying that they're dancing, and we know that people dance, but leaves can't literally dance, right? This one is a light bulb. So the light bulb happily smiled upon the room. Okay, so it must have, just flicked on and lets this nice warm glow if it's smiling on the room, right? An alarm clock. Well, the alarm clock shouted at me early in the morning. So you can infer here that the author did not really want to hear the alarm clock shout at them that early in the morning. Most of us do not. So here, of course, shouting is something a person does, not something that an innate object does typically, okay? So these are some examples. What you're going to do now on the personification part where you're writing is you're going to rewrite each sentence and change the words in parentheses to words that would describe a human's actions, okay? So try to make it a little bit easier for you and actually, indicate the part of the sentence that would need changed, okay? So you're gonna have to pause this here, go to your note sheet and look at the second part and complete that at this point. Okay, so finally, why do authors use personification, metaphors, and similes, okay? Well, personification especially creates imagery, okay? So personification helps to create images in our minds as we read, as does all figurative language, okay? So that is what imagery is, when you're creating that picture in your mind, okay? So I have a few slides of examples of what you are going to do. There's a little statement here. You need to figure out what is being compared. What does this mean? What imagery does this create in the reader's mind? Okay, so, or what is being personified, I guess I should say, because there's going to be simile, metaphor, and personification here. So for this statement, we would have had more pizza to eat if Tammy hadn't been such a hog. Okay, so this is comparing Tammy to a hog. This is a metaphor, okay? And it means that Tammy ate more than her share of the pizza, okay? And this creates in the reader's mind an image of like maybe a large woman stuffing her face with pizza, okay? That may not be the case, but that's what I imagine when I read this statement, okay? All right, so let's go on to another example. So the front door screeched as I slowly opened it to sneak into my house. So here, what is being personified? Because really it's not being compared, it's being personified. This is personification. So it's a door is being compared to a human really, because they're saying it's screeched, right? Okay, so what does this mean? Well, it made a sound like someone screeching. And then what is this image that it creates? Well, if you look here on my next slide, this image of this person slowly opening a door, okay? And it's possibly loud, so you can see like the sound almost coming from that door, okay? All right, and then finally, this is the final example. Physical exercise is like medicine for some people. What is being compared? Physical exercise to medicine using like, so this is a simile, right? What does this mean? Well, exercise makes people feel better, basically. Okay, so then what that image would be in your mind would be that, people are feeling better after working out. You would be seeing that in your mind. Okay, so let's see if we have a picture here. No, that's just medicine. But the image that I think of is like people, feeling happy or in a good mood after they work out. So then you are now going to complete the chart on the note sheet. So in your chart, this is the third item on your note sheet. You're going to see these statements, just like the three slides we just went through. You have to decide whether it's a simile, a metaphor, or personification. And then what is being either personified or what's being compared. What does that comparison mean? And then you can get, if you don't want to sketch what you imagine in your mind, because it might be hard to draw on there, especially with your iPads, and it's just such a tiny little box, you can copy and paste from Google what you think the imagery would be for that statement, given the figurative language, okay? So this is your only activity today, to watch this video and complete the note sheet that is attached here. It's going to take you some time to work your way through these three kind of activities, but they're all on one note sheet, okay? If you have questions or concerns, please reach out to me, message me. Have a wonderful Friday and have a great weekend. See you next week.